Whew. So that's a sigh of relief. So thank God the game is over. Manchester United have grabbed the 3 point against Chelsea. So now let's have a recap. Let's look at the highlights of the game yesterday. So the first highlight I'm going to talk about is this one that happened over here. So watch this video. So as you can see, that's the highlight of the game, and unfortunately the highlight of the game for me took place after the game had been concluded. And what am I talking about? That's the United fan singing that derogatory chant towards Alejandro Garnacho. Of course, he deserved no respect from the fan because he disrespected us. So I looked what the fan did that was at the Stratford end yesterday in the game. So that was a highlight for me. Now let us look about and talk about other events in that game. First of all, I would like to, actually I predicted that Benjamin Sesko would score, but eventually he didn't score. But he was fantastic in that game within the few minutes that he played. Now, I also talked about the importance of Benjamin Sesko compared to Rasmus Højlund, of which it was evident yesterday. I talked about it. If you watched my previous video, I said he was good with the head. Whenever a ball comes in from the goalkeeper, he always go in contest for it, unlike Rasmus Højlund, who will be resting his bum on the defenders. So you can see, and that resulted to the first attempt, of course, which resulted to the red card. Sanchez got the red card. Benjamin Sesko headed the flick on to Mbeumo, and Mbeumo, with his speed and his pace, he catch up with the ball. Then he was fouled by Sanchez and eventually got the red card. So Sesko, I think he will do better for Manchester United. So let's just have faith in him. Now let's talk about also the goals itself. First of all, I noticed something in that game. Immediately that red card came in, you notice that what's his name, Bruno Fernandes, started focusing forward more. Yes, he left the midfield all over for Casemiro and said, Casemiro, do the work at the midfield because Chelsea is one man down. It's time for me to go up forward. And you can see his impact. So I think Ruben Amorim should consider playing Bruno Fernandes among the two number 10s. He's perfect in that role. He's perfect going forward. And luckily, he grabbed his 100 goals for Manchester United. He managed 100 goals coming from a midfielder. And he still have, he has spent just five seasons, if I'm not mistaken, for Manchester United. He's scored 100 goals. So, Amorim, please consider pushing Bruno Fernandes forward, especially when we need a goal. Yesterday game was quite cool. So, there are a lot of positives and also there are negatives. But the negative wasn't much compared to the positive. So, we'll grab the 3 points. That's the most important thing. So, which other highlights do you think in that game is okay for you, apart from the one that I showed you from the beginning? Yes, I love that chant. The chant was sung to Di Maria. Yes, Di Maria, and now it has now been transferred to Alejandro Garnacho. But unfortunately enough, both Argentines. I'm not really happy about that. So, tell me your highlights in the game and tell you how you feel about the 3 points won. Now let's look up to the next one. That's the game against Brentford. I'll be coming live frequently this week, so I'll talk about that coming game. So if you're not following me yet, hit the plus button if you're watching this on TikTok. Facebook, follow me. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. So tell me your highlights in the comment section. What other highlights do you think are more enjoyable than the one that I showed you from the beginning? Alejandro Garnacho being booed, yes, by the fans at Old Trafford. Tell me in the comment section.